made up of housing experts from around the world, and we report to the United Nations. We are not a United Nations body or entity, but we do investigations around the world regarding evictions and housing, and then we make a report to the UN body that is responsible for housing and human settlements, called UN Habitat. There were five people on this mission to New Orleans, and some of whom are standing here with me. My name is Leilani Farha, and I was the head of this, and am the head of this mission. I just wanted to start by thanking the city of New Orleans. We have had an incredibly warm reception, which I take it as part of the culture of New Orleans. I feel like I myself have lived here. I'm walking in the streets and people are just waving and saying hello, and we couldn't have had a friendlier reception. Unfortunately, this friendly reception stands in marked contrast with other things that we've seen and heard in the past 3 days here in New Orleans. I want to tell you very briefly about some of our preliminary findings based on the evidence that we've gathered. And the way we've gathered this evidence is by speaking to as many people we can from a variety of places. So we've spoken to residents, the homeless, we've spoken to academics, we've spoken to legal practitioners, and we've spoken just recently to public officials. The thing I want to impress upon you is what we have heard consistently and repeatedly is that communities here in New Orleans feel that they have been abandoned by their governments. This is a very serious situation to have a community that's already suffered trauma feel completely abandoned by the people who are supposed to represent them. I want to tell you about 3 areas of forced eviction that we are particularly concerned with and that we investigated. First of all, we had the opportunity to meet with a community in Lower Mid-City that are facing eviction. It seems unbelievable to us that a group of people that were just recently displaced are now facing eviction again. And why? For what seems to me and the rest of the team to be an unnecessary, in quotes, economic development. Yes, the city needs hospitals and good hospitals and state-of-the-art healthcare, but that does not have to be at the expense of the residents living in New Orleans. And we are deeply concerned that an already traumatized people will be traumatized yet again. We spoke with an older man, a veteran in his 70s. He's lived in this community all of his life except for when he was serving his country. His family has owned the house for 125 years. He has invested monies in the rebuilding of his house after Katrina, and now he is facing eviction. It seems unreasonable and it is unnecessary. We also had the opportunity to visit with public housing residents, many of whom have been evicted and are homeless and facing homelessness. We visited sites where there was public housing and it's been demolished, though it could have been repaired. It seems unreasonable to us. We visited communities that are public housing communities that are being threatened with eviction. Here they are. They've been, evicted once. They're finally back in homes of a sort, and they're being forced to live with the fear of losing their homes and their communities again. We visited Iberville, one of the last standing public housing sites, and here were homes that are repairable, fixable, and you have the authorities, Hano and HUD, refusing to invest in these properties, basically constructively evicting the tenants. We're seeing policies being employed to evict tenants at an alarming rate, public housing tenants at an alarming rate, a huge increase over the past while. It's unacceptable. And the third area of huge concern are the folks who have basically been completely abandoned. They are homeless and they are living in abandoned buildings, in squalor, in completely appalling conditions. They have no access to running water, electricity. And what's so disturbing is that we find all of this, these three particular areas of concern, being done in the context of a process that has basically completely excluded the very people who are supposed to benefit from a recovery process. We see a process that is not based in human rights values or principles. And frankly, we see a process that is not based in compassion. We also see all of this happening in the context of the United States of America, the richest country in the world. So, we are disheartened. But we believe there are achievable solutions to what is clearly a housing crisis. We think the solutions can actually be quite easy. They're not so complicated. As easy or as simple as employing local workers who want to work, who are desperate to work so they can earn an income. As simple as undertaking repairs to housing rather than demolishing housing and whole communities. And as simple as ensuring the inclusion of the most disadvantaged and marginalized folks in New Orleans in all aspects of the rebuilding and recovery process. I think the mission has found New Orleans to be a special place. It's a unique city. It has unique architecture. It has a unique culture. And we really hope that all the powers that be, that all levels of government can ensure that this city and its uniqueness survives. Thank you very much.
What message for the residents that you met with in Lower Mid-City?
I do. You've got an uphill battle. You have a beautiful communities to save. And I think you've got to band together, get as many allies together as you can, whether they're local, whether they're across the country or international, and fight this. You're going to win.